Leosan chamaniabu que chamalea tu itaiwai. Hi everyone. So today, this Freaky Friday episode is gonna be available to the public, but also Patreon itself. So tonight we speak the names of two mothers, one who is dressed in serpents and one who is wrapped in stars, one who is feared and one who is adored, but both are sacred. And in this episode is especially powerful because today is the feast of La Virgencita de Guadalupe. Today is December 12th, a night when candles flood homes, streets, churches, and mountainsides across Mexico and the diaspora. And just days from now, on December 21st, the Winter Solstice, many honor both Coatlicue and her son, Huitzilopochtli, who is born at the darkest point of the year, when the sun itself is reborn through struggle, blood, and fire. And tonight we are standing between two holy dates, between two sacred mothers, and two spiritual worlds that were never meant to be separated. This is the story of Coatlicue Tonantzin and La Virgencita de Guadalupe. So before colonization, before Christianity, and before Mexico was Mexico, there was Coatlicue. Her name tells you who she is. Like I also said before, her name, she's also called Tonantzin. So Tonantzin means our sacred Mother Earth, and Coatlicue means she who wears the serpent skirt. She is not, a random goddess like the European ones. She isn't distant. She is the earth itself, and she's the soil beneath your feet, the womb that births you, and the grave that receives you back. She is the embodiment of life, death, and decay, and renewal. And in the Mexica worldview, these were not opposites, they were one continuous sacred motion. Coatlicue gives birth to Huitzilopochtli, the deity of war and the sun, fully armed and blazing at the moment of his birth. This tells us something very important. Even the sun is born through violent sacrifice and survival. And Coatlicue isn't a nice mother, I guess you'd say. She is more of a true mother, one who feeds and destroys with the same hands. So Coatlicue's statue, which you'll see right here, terrifies people today. She wears a skirt of live serpents. Her hands are claws, and around her neck hangs a necklace of human hearts, hands, and skulls. Her head is formed by two serpents meeting, representing flowing blood. To colonized eyes, she looks monstrous, but to indigenous eyes, she is very honest. And she shows that nature isn't gentle, and the earth feeds us, but it also devours us. And just like storms grow crops and floods destroy them, birth is bloody and death is inevitable. Nothing about life is soft, and Coatlicue does not pretend otherwise. But then in 1531, everything changes. The Spanish have, come into Mexico. Temples end up becoming destroyed. The Teo are demonized, and indigenous religious practice is made illegal. And on the Tepeyac Hill, a hill long dedicated to Tonantzin, a new mother appears, La Virgencita de Guadalupe, the Virgin of Guadalupe. She is said to have appeared to Juan Diego, speaking Nahuatl. She is not white, she's brown skinned. She stands on the moon and she's wrapped in a cloak of stars. The sun blazes behind her, and her image isn't random. Every detail speaks in indigenous cosmology. And she arrives during violence, during erasure, and during forced conversion. And she does something no sword could do. She makes the people survive spiritually. Now, Guadalupe is not worshipped like European virgins. She isn't distant, she isn't cold, and she's not unreachable. She is La Morenita, she's the little mother. She's the one you cry to in kitchens, in hospital rooms, on border crossings, in prison cells, in protests, in quiet desperation. She is not fear-based, she's shelter-based. And then Coatlicue and Guadalupe represent two faces of the same two faces of sacred motherhood within Mexican and Indigenous history. Coatlicue is the mother who teaches you how to survive death, whereas Guadalupe is the mother who teaches you how to survive life. And one holds you as soil and one holds you as a child, and one demands respect through awe and one invites devotion through tenderness. But both are keepers of the people. And Guadalupe does not remain only as a church figure. She becomes a banner in the Mexican War of Independence, a symbol in farm worker movements, a presence in migration, a tattoo on the skin, a candle for protection, and a prayer before protest. She becomes Mexican identity in exile and resistance. Meanwhile, Coatlicue is buried literally and spiritually. Her statue is hidden. Her name becomes dangerous and her worship is labeled demonic, but she's never disappeared. She lives in the mountains, lives in the soil, midwifery, blood memory, sacrifice, storms, dreams. She waits in the parts of us Christianity couldn't tame. And like I said, today is December 12th, which is the feast of La Virgencita de Guadalupe. And across all of Mexico and the diaspora, millions sing mañanitas before dawn. Candles glow, roses are offered, and processions are pretty much moved throughout the streets. And this is a night of prayer, protection, and gratitude. Then only days later, on December 21st, the Winter Solstice, many honor both Coatlicue and Huitzilopochtli. This is the night of cosmic rebirth, when the sun is born from the longest darkness, when life returns through fire and sacrifice. One mother is honored by candles and flowers, and the other is honored by the turning of the universe itself. And both are real, both are ancient, both are still very much alive. People often people often say that Guadalupe is Tonantzin, and this idea comes from the fact that Guadalupe appeared on the Tepeyac Hill, the same hill where Tonantzin was honored long before colonization. It also comes from how indigenous people preserved their spirituality beneath Christian imagery as a survival strategy. Coatlicue carries indigenous symbolism: the moon, the sun, the stars, the Nahuatl language, the brown body, and the sacred hill. This is what syncretism is: layers of belief surviving on top of each other. But this is where we must be careful. And it's important to say this clearly and with respect. Coatlicue or Tonantzin and La Virgencita de Guadalupe are not the same being. Their histories intersect and their land overlaps. Their maternal roles echo each other, but their spiritual identities remain distinct. Coatlicue is a theot, a living earth force rooted in pre-colonial cosmic law, and she rules the balance, sacrifice, birth, decay, and rebirth, and she does not operate through salvation or sin. She governs through natural law. Whereas Guadalupe emerges within the Catholic framework, her power moves through mercy, intercession, prayer, and devotion, and she does not demand blood, she answers candles, she walks with the suffering. But they both share the land of Tepeyac and the title of mother, the protection of the people, and the survival of indigenous spirit through colonization. But they are not interchangeable. To collapse them into one erases indigenous sovereignty of Coatlicue, and to deny their connection erases the indigenous survival inside Guadalupe. And the truth lives in the tension. They are linked through history and they are connected through land, and they are aligned through maternal power, but they are not the same sacred being. They stand beside each other, but not on top of each other. And one of the greatest lies colonial religion taught is that holiness must be gentle. Coatlicue teaches us that holiness can be terrifying, bloody, unforgiving, ruthless, and earth shaking, whereas Guadalupe teaches us that holiness can be soft, protective, patient, loving, and quietly powerful. The divine feminine is not one shape, she is every shape that keeps life alive. So tonight on the Feast of La Virgencita de Guadalupe, remember that the mother in stars and remember the mother in stars, and when the solstice comes, remember the mother in serpents and the son born in blood and fire. Two mothers, two cosmic currents, and one people still surviving. This has been my Freaky Friday, so stay rooted and stay protected and honor the mothers. Tuwa liao sin chimiloko e te siavu, in liao sapo in chima. Chukola.